Welcome to Uncle Bob's Magic Cabinet, a mother-daughter podcast on all things magic and pop culture. Three, two, one, and we're on.
We're on.
Wow.
What's going on?
Nothing. Not a god thing.
Nothing and everything.
And everything. Oh my god. Hey everyone, I'm Leigh, I'm the daughter.
I'm Lauren, the mom.
So what's up?
I don't know. You're all snuggled up there like it's like you're getting ready for October.
You know what? I felt a chill in the air. So it's time.
I'm going to embrace that.
I know. So big news, because when this episode is being released, we will have moved.
Yes.
To Seattle.
Yes, because you could say that because we'll already be there.
We will already be there
because we're kind of keeping it.
We're keeping it on the DL.
We're keeping it on the down low, on the lockdown.
We are moving. Well, we will when this is released.
When this airs.
We will have already moved across the country.
And it will be pretty close to October. Right now it's August. And you're all snuggled up there like...
it was a little chilly today.
Was it? It's like 85
It was
out.
a crisp 85.
It was a crisp 85. I think maybe it's just like the exhaustion.
Yeah.
And
in my defense, the air conditioner is on. It's not like it's, like I'm on the sun in a sweatshirt.
Yeah.
So we are moving to Seattle.
Yeah, we are.
Yeah. How meta is this?
Huh?
Is that what it's called? Meta? When it's like we're talking about moving, but when this is released, we will already have moved.
Yes.
Whoa.
Is that what it's called?
I don't know.
So how are you feeling? Because I got to tell you,
pre-move, I'm stressed. I'm very sleepy. Sleepy is the word.
Yeah, I'm holding my eyelids open with toothpicks. Yeah. I'm not kidding. I'm stressed.
I am stressed.
I am so stressed.
There's a lot of moving parts.
There are so many moving parts that are going into this move, and it, happened pretty quickly.
Yeah, some things fell into place and it just kind of happened. So I have been literally, my dream since I was little, was to move to Seattle. So I'm kind of
Cobain.
like, I know that's so embarrassing, but I'm just going to say I was and am a huge grunge music fan. So I was always like, that's the place for me.
And you're a huge flannel wearing fan.
Flannel, I love,
You just rock the whole entire Seattle grunge scene. So
I do. I'm not going to toot my own horn.
Yeah. Ever since you were little, you've wanted to move to Seattle.
So this is kind of crazy.
And this was not, it was like a dream, a far-off dream.
Yeah. Like, what's it called? A pipe dream? Is that what it's called?
Dream. Yeah. You never thought you were getting there.
No, I didn't.
Right.
Maybe when me and Jake were older and we had a lot of money, and then I thought we would maybe get there. But no, not anytime soon.
Tender age that you are.
No.
Right.
Oh my God. And I'm 27. Ooh, spooky. Going to the home of some 27 club members. Well, only one. No. Two.
Yeah. Because Jimi Hendrix is out there, and so is Kurt Cobain.
Kurt Cobain. I like how you say it. So it's not hitting me yet, I don't think.
Yeah, every once in a while you're like, let me pinch myself. You're like, hey guys, we're going to go to Seattle.
I know, I am. I'm like, pinch myself because I can't wrap my head around it yet. I'm going to be so excited.
Yeah. So, wow.
That's what we got, man. As of right now, we're dealing with that.
We are. And how do you deal with stress?
I don't know. I'll let you know.
Not very well.
I'll let you know when I figure it out. Jake's looking at me like, not well. not well.
Every once in a while, there's like a few meltdowns, and
oh yeah, 100%.
I'm like pretty much shoveling anything into my mouth that I could. I'm just like, let me just eat my feelings and stress away.
I think I rage a little bit.
You rage a little?
Yeah, my Aries moon comes
raging.
out.
Yeah, I'm just trying to be like,
it's all going to be
okay.
It will be fine.
Yeah.
I'm sure we'll talk more.
We will, because we're plotting out the trip.
The trip, but we're also plotting out we're going to have a new Uncle Bob space. So no more of this beautiful crusty backdrop. If you watch us on
we're
YouTube,
actually again on location.
I know we're going to upgrade our digs, It's exciting because the podcast is doing well.
Yeah,
it is.
Yeah, and we love it.
We do. Way to go, up top.
Woo!
So our new abode will have, we're going to have a podcast space.
Yeah. Yeah. So, but I mean, if, at any time during this, if Leanne curls up in the fetal position and starts snoring or...
Oh my God. Hey, it's not like it's just me.
No, I was going to say, I was going to say, I'm already,
If I fell asleep and you start crying. That's where we're at.
Give me a donut.
Oh my God. True.
Yeah, that's so true.
But we'll talk more on, the journey once we've had it.
Exactly. I feel like I probably, in hindsight, should have swapped out the old, what's in my Uncle Bob's koozie.
Why?
And put like a Jolt or something.
Oh my God.
A caffeine Jolt.
I know. I had like 3 coffees today and it didn't do
I didn't have any.
Nothing's working. Oh my God.
Until you try to close your eyes and go to sleep and then you're
I'm
like,
I'm up.
Yeah. Yeah. It's like running in your sleep.
Yeah. So the joys of moving.
This is a huge move.
It's literally...
Guys, we are in Pennsylvania and we're going to Seattle.
Yep.
That's like 3,000 miles
is
or something.
Nope, I'm not going to sing it. I'm not going to sing it.
Yeah. So we're going through like so many friggin' states.
Yeah, it's exciting. We're going to try to film it.
Yes.
So if you don't, follow our YouTube channel, do that. Yeah. So we're going to try to film the journey.
Yeah.
Oh my God, but it will have already been out. See, I can't, my brain.
Well, it will already have been out.
Go check that out.
Go check that out. You can already watch it.
Oh my God. Get it together. Oh my God.
Snap out of it.
For real. All right. So we're going to need to jump in here.
Are we?
Yeah.
Okay.
Because I think mine might be long.
Really?
Yeah. But every time I say that, it's not long. Okay. And then I feel like a dumbass.
Okay. Well, I mean, I have no words for that. I was trying to think of some witty repartee, but
I was going to say you look like you were about to say something like really good, and then it was just like, nope.
And that's how quickly it leaves my mind.
Yeah.
Jake, you want to jump in here?
Hi.
No, I don't have much to say. I'm ready to get the out of here.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
We're ready, bitch.
We're ready.
All right, so I'm going to jump in. Do you know what I'm doing today?
I don't even know what the I'm doing today.
What planet are you on? What's 2 + 2?
I've been waking up in the morning going, where am I and what day is it? That's literally, and that's no lie.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. I'm doing Stranger Things.
Ew, I'm so excited for the next season to come out.
I know.
We've been having to wait on some of our favorite things.
Well, there is, a pandemic. No.
Gosh darn it.
How dare you?
How dare I be inconvenienced?
How dare you ruin my pop culture life? Yeah, I'm super excited. And every time it, starts to get around September, October, I'm like, I need to put it on. Because I think it came out, let me check my notes. It came out in 2016.
Wow.
And it came out in the fall. So now it just makes me nostalgic for it every fall.
Well, you had said before that you didn't really, wasn't your favorite, the one that came out, last year?
Season 3, no, I liked it a lot. But But because it came out in the summer, it didn't have
in
that.
July.
Yeah, we all know that I love the fall. I love Halloween. So it just didn't hit the same.
Yeah.
It was still great.
Oh, yeah. I like that one.
Maybe I'll have to watch it
In the
fall.
Yeah.
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 But I'm going to just be focusing on season 1.
Okay. Because there's going to be multiple
There are going to be
opportunities.
Yep. We're really going to milk this. No. I was going to make a really, I don't even know where I was going. I was going to say milk.
We're making no sense.
I was going to say milk this nut. Does that make sense?
Milk the dud.
You can milk a nut. Almond milk. Cashew.
We'll forgive this.
I have nipples, Greg. Can you milk me? Okay. Anyway, back on track. Jake's giving me the reel it in.
Reel it in.
What the was I talking about? Stranger Things. I'm going to do season 1.
All right, awesome.
Okay. So I set out to just talk about 11 because I feel like she's the most magical part of this. But I think she's going to warrant her own episode entirely. But I'm going to get into it.
Yeah.
So if you, no offense, have been living under a rock, because this kind of took the world by a storm. Yeah. Is that a saying? Yes.
Yes, it sure is.
Thank you. Shut up. Yeah, when it hit in 2016, I feel like it was one of the first Netflix shows to really pop off, like Netflix original shows.
Okay. I don't know. I can't.
Okay.
I can't harken back.
Beautifully spoken. God.
I'm not on top of it.
No, we're not. It's fine. It's fine. Let's keep it cruising. All right. Anywho. Okay. So it was created by the Duffer Brothers, and this was their first shebang.
You're kidding.
Jake fact checked me, but I'm 99.9% positive this was their first shebang.
Wow.
I like their name, the Duffer Brothers.
The Duffer Brothers.
Yeah, it sounds very, I don't know.
Yeah.
Like, it sounds kind of like it's from the 80s, if that makes sense.
Yeah, you're right.
Yeah. Okay. And it stars, are you ready? This is going to be a long ass list because it's got a good cast.
Got a good cast.
But at the time, all of these people were pretty much unknown.
Right.
Which is why...
Except for Winona Ryder.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay, go ahead.
Was not their first. So their first film was We All Fall Down, and their first television show that they were part of is Wayward Pines.
I don't know what the hell that is.
We don't know either of those, so we're just going to say...
We're just going to say that this was it. This was their big moment. So really, yeah. Okay. So yes, Winona Ryder is Joyce,
which brought her career back.
Correct.
Yeah.
David Harbour is Jim Hopper, and we love him. Mm-hmm. Millie Bobby Brown is 11. Finn Wolfhard. No,
I think it's Wolfhard.
Shut the. What?
It's so early, Jake.
Finn Wolfhard is Mike. Sorry, buddy. Noah Schnapp as Will. What? I can't pronounce anything. We get it. I'm gonna butcher some more coming up. Gaten Matarazzo is Dustin.
That's a good one.
Did I do that? Did it roll off the tongue? Okay.
It did.
Caleb McLaughlin is Lucas. Charlie Heaton is Jonathan. Natalie Dyer is Nancy, and Joe Keery is Steve. I think I really nailed that. Look at me go.
I like it.
Great cast.
Yeah.
But that's part of another reason why it was so I don't know, crazy that it went wild, because really the only person that was known was Winona Ryder. And it did bring her career. She ruled the 80s, and then it kind of brought her back. Yeah. In the 90s. She had her moment.
She did.
Yeah. Okay, thanks.
Until she didn't get into her shoplifting it.
And then she didn't. I love Winona Ryder.
I do too. I think she's awesome.
Okay. So I'm going to recap season 1. There's going to be spoilers because as I was trying to recap it, it was kind of impossible not to, because there's just so much going on. So if you haven't seen it, I would suggest, go give it a look.
Right.
So here's your spoiler warning. Okay, so it takes place in Hawkins, Indiana in 1983, and no, I do not believe that is a real place. Before you ask.
I was going to ask. I was going to.
I don't believe it is a real place. Okay, 4 friends, Mike, Lucas, Dustin, and Will, are playing Dungeons and Dragons in Mike's basement. What?
And you already know you had me at Dungeons and Dragons now.
Have you ever played?
I've not. No.
Oh my God, Jake's played. He enjoyed it.
Yeah, I had a good time.
I feel like many cool people play Dungeons and Dragons.
I know a lot of people. Maybe we should should we start a, what's it called, a team? Do you have a team?
Let's work that into our schedule.
Yeah, we'll start that. Okay. So while Will is riding his bike home, he sees something creepy in the woods by his house and ends up disappearing into thin air. Goodbye, Will. I'm so sorry. His mother, Joyce, and brother Jonathan realize he is missing the next morning and enlist Hawkins' chief of police, Jim Hopper, to help find him. Love Jim Hopper.
Love Hopper.
Dare I say he's the best part of this show.
Yes.
I'm gonna stand by that statement. Hilarious.
Like yep.
Great actor.
Hilarious.
Mwah.
Great.
Thank you. You're so
stupendous.
Really nailing this commentary today.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm lucky to get one word out.
Okay. So meanwhile, there is this scientific government agency lab. Did I nail it? Okay. In Hawkins, right? There's this doctor, I call him creepy Dr. Brenner because he's creepy, is testing this like government program and where he's testing people's supernatural abilities. And I'll get into that. So don't jump the gun.
I'm going to keep my zip lipped. Okay. My lip zipped. See?
Your zip lipped. Yes. Great.
Oh,
okay.
Man.
He is testing specifically a young girl's abilities, and she can appear to move things with her mind. Hello, Carrie White.
Yes.
Okay. She ends up escaping the lab, and as she's running away from the laboratory, she collides with Mike, Dustin, and Lucas, who are looking for Will in the woods because Will is still missing. Okay.
He's MIA.
MIA. So long, Will. They decide to help her, and they hide her in Mike's basement in like this little tent. And it still kills me that like the parents didn't know. Like, do you not like go in your own basement?
You're like, what's happening? I know. She's just like hiding out down there eating
their food.
Egos.
Eating Legos. Yes.
Egos. Waffles.
I know. And it's like you didn't notice, but okay. Yeah. We'll ignore. I guess it was the 80s.
Oh my God, when they pulled out the phone,
it was like giant. And they have their walkie-talkies that's literally bigger than like half my body. Oh my God. When they ask for her name, so she barely speaks. Okay, so when they ask for her name, she doesn't say anything. She just shows them a small tattoo that she has on, I think, her wrist of the number 11. So they call her L for short.
Cute.
Oh my gosh, adorable. They soon catch on to the fact that she has abilities. I think they catch her levitating like a Star Wars toy. Like you can see her doing certain things and they're like, whoa.
Oh, that's cool.
Again, just pretty fast to the like, yeah, you have powers. Like you wouldn't be shitting your pants, you know?
Well, they're boys that play Dungeons and Dragons.
All right, solid point. I'll give it to him. Okay, so Mike's sister, Nancy, and her BFF, Barb, while this is all happening, they go to a party at Nancy's boyfriend, Steve's house. Okay, Steve is also a great part of the show.
Yeah, great.
Okay. While Nancy and Steve are upstairs getting jiggy with it, Barb cuts her finger, and she's hanging out by the pool, being sad little Barb.
And it was her glasses.
That made her sad?
Those were, yes.
Don't act like you didn't have a pair.
I did not have a pair.
You liar.
That big? Oh, those were Sally Jesse Raphael's.
Let me check my records. I'll get back to you all on this. I'll find the photo. Oh my God. She's hanging by the pool and Barb also disappears into thin air.
Bye, Barb.
Oh, goodbye. Okay, so Joyce, the mom, is obviously losing it trying to find her son, Will. Okay, because again, he's still missing. Now, Will's missing and now Barb is missing. Everyone's freaking out. She gets a phone call from someone that she thinks is Will. Like she hears his voice kind of softly. But then the phone catches on fire.
Yes. And again, not weird.
No, not at all. It's like, what?
Why is the phone on fire? Why did it combust?
I feel like right now, I feel like Winona Ryder's character in Stranger Things. She's just like, what's happening?
Exactly. You're going to start chiefing the smokes. That is the weird thing, like to see the 80s, and she's just, like
they're
chiefing
all
them
chiefing
down.
it.
They're
I
all
know.
chiefing the cigs.
And like everywhere too.
Yeah.
I know it is
gosh.
odd. Okay, so the phone catches on fire. Long story short, she realizes that Will is communicating with her through the lights in the house, or who she thinks is Will.
Right.
Spoiler alert, it's Will.
It is Will.
She right. So she ends up hanging Christmas lights on the wall. So if you've seen Stranger Things artwork, I'm sure this is what you've seen.
Right.
And she writes the alphabet, and each letter has a light.
It's like her own Christmassy Morse code.
Yeah, or a Ouija board.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, Leigh, good.
You're like, nice connection.
Nicely done.
Why, thank you. And so, he can write out by flickering the lights.
Yeah.
And she asks, Will, where are you? And he spells out right here. And then he tells her to run. And so she's like, what? And she sees this.
She's like, what are you talking about?
Gulp, gulp, gulp. What? What do you mean? And as she's like trying to figure out what the hell he's talking about, this monster looking thing breaks through her wall and starts running after her. Okay, so that's where we are here.
Has she yet?
Someone has had to have their pants by now. I would imagine it would have been Joyce in this moment, but who knows. So this thing that has come out of the wall, we know it gets a name, the Demogorgon, which I believe is like a Dungeons and Dragons thing.
Who is it?
They kind of use Dungeons and Dragons like as their
model.
Yes, which I thought was very cool.
Yeah.
Even though I haven't played, I just thought that was interesting.
Yeah.
Because I guess, was it big in the 80s?
I think it's still big now, isn't it?
Yeah, but I mean, because this took place in 83, so I would imagine it was like just coming around.
I cannot answer.
It was
to that.
popular in the 80s, yes.
Why, thank you.
Okay.
She's like, I can't attest.
I can't answer.
I was too busy, wearing my barb glasses. That's what you were doing.
My shaws.
Okay, so, yes, the Shaw. Oh my God. Okay, so the Demogorgon is the monster. Okay. Meanwhile, Hopper is looking into this Hawkins lab, and he realizes that they have something to do with Will's disappearance. So now I'm going to try to make a long story very, very short, and I'm going to try to leave out some things that I think would really spoil it if you haven't seen it. But again...
Spoiler alert.
Okay, so 11, we find out, was a test subject at this Hawkins lab, obviously. They were using her to spy on Russia, right? Because she has powers. She can focus her mind, and she can move stuff with her mind, but she can also drop in. Like if she focuses on something or someone, she can drop in and spy and see what they're doing without them noticing her.
Right.
Okay. And she can do this through like sensory deprivation tanks.
Yeah. Weird fact that growing up in the 80s, because that's when I was in school and stuff. But yeah, that was a real thing. Like the Russians were always coming to get you. Like it was continuous fear.
Yeah.
It was continuous fear that they were coming for us.
Right.
And it was going to end the entire world. You know what I mean?
Interesting.
Yeah, so it's
very
interesting.
prominent.
Very prominent. Yeah.
Okay, gotcha. Okay, so during one of her tank sessions when she's trying to drop in on like the Russian, I guess, government? I don't know. She accidentally opens this doorway to another dimension. Okay, so she accidentally drops in on somewhere else.
Where she ain't supposed to be.
Not in Kansas anymore.
Dorothy Gale.
And she gets scared.
Right.
She sees the Demogorgon. She gets scared, and in her fear ends up ripping. Okay, I'm not even going to try to explain to you like time and space.
Yeah.
But she rips, So this Demogorgon can now walk between his world and ours. Okay, so she starts to call this place that the Demogorgon is from the Upside Down.
Okay.
And it is basically a shadow world of Hawkins. So everything that is in Hawkins, or I guess probably the whole world,
right?
There's something dark on the flip side, on the flippity flop.
In the Upside Down.
Why, yes.
Well, That's awesome.
Wow. Okay.
I get it. By Jove. By Jove, I've got it.
Really cool visuals, like when they flash between our world and the upside down. Okay. So that opening is what is allowing the Demogorgon to come in and out, right? And we find out that there are actually a bunch of like tiny rips throughout all of Hawkins where he's
weaving. He's bobbing and weaving.
And he's eating some lunch. We find out that he likes blood.
Yeah.
Is it a he? I don't know what it is. An animal? I'm not sure.
I don't know. I can't answer.
A monster?
I don't know. Why does his face open up to look like a flower petal? That's
I think
what I want to know.
it's so cool.
Yeah, but I wonder how they came up with that.
They watched a bunch of 80s horror movies. Yeah, they made it a point to like call to a bunch of 80s horror movies, which I respect. Okay, so while Hopper is searching the Hawkins lab, he finds the main gate that 11 created. Okay, but before he can go and explore, and again, he still has no idea what the heck's going on. The government like knocks him out, and I guess they drug him or something, and he wakes up the next day in his bed. So he didn't get to explore. Okay, so obviously the government, something fishy's going on here.
There's something hinky happening here. That's Matthew Modine.
Matthew Modine.
He was a big 80s star.
Who? Dr. Brenner. Oh yeah. You did tell me that. I did not realize.
Yeah.
Okay. He's creepy.
Yeah.
Not him himself, but you get what I'm saying.
The characters he plays.
Yes. Okay. Everyone gets on the same page here. We find out what's going on. We find out about the upside down. We find out that Will is in the upside down and that 11 can track him.
And Joyce isn't really crazy.
And Joyce is not crazy. Everyone gets on the same page and they decide to go and look for Will and Barb and fight the Demogorgon. Okay. They rig up a sensory deprivation tank at the middle school so that 11 can get in and focus and find where Will is. Sadly, I'm so sorry to report, Barb, goner.
She don't make it.
No. And people still to this day are like, no, she's alive. And I'm like, no, man, they made it pretty clear. She was dead. So long, Barb.
Yes.
Okay.
Goodbye, Barb.
Bye-bye. Joyce and Hopper go to the lab and enter the upside down. So once 11 pinpoints where Will is, Joyce and Hopper go and they enter the upside down. The government / creepy Dr. Brenner find 11 and the kids at the school because he wants 11 back.
Right.
Because she's like a weapon.
Absolutely.
Okay. 11 goes ballistic because, side note, her and Mike have a little...
She likes Mike.
Have a little love connection. It's very cute.
He brings her egos.
The true sign of love. And she uses all of her power and magic to fight the Demogorgon because, well, first of all, she fights all of the government people, right?
She kicks her
ass. So while they're bleeding out on the floor, like I said, the Demogorgon likes blood. So it draws him. But then she ends up fighting the Demogorgon. They have a big brawl. And then she disappears into thin air.
Right.
Okay. So while that's going on, Joyce and Hopper find Will. He has a weird snake thing in his mouth. He's not doing so hot. They bring him home. You know, everything's good. But the last scene, we see him go into the bathroom and he spits out what appears to be like a tiny Demogorgon.
Yeah.
And that's how the season 1 ends. So we don't know if 11 is alive. We have no idea where she's at. And Will.
Well, we do because we watched season 2. But if you haven't, you don't know.
Mom, you can't assume. God. Okay, so that is season 1 in a nutshell. That is kind of hard to like.
It's hard to sum up an entire season
It's very difficult, but I had to.
Yeah.
In order for my lesson.
Yeah, because you gotta give the rundown.
The rundown. So what I wanted to talk about was actually MKUltra and Project Stargate. Spooky spooks.
That is spooky.
Okay, so MKUltra is a top secret CIA project that began in 1953. This really freaks me out. Like it really does. Yes.
It's messed up, man.
It's very messed up. Okay, so the agency conducted hundreds of mind control experiments in which U.S. citizens, often without their knowledge, were put through tests to assess the use of LSD and other drugs for mind control and psychological torture. Ew.
Ew.
Ew, that's a no from me, dog.
And I'm out.
And for that reason, I'm out. Details about this project were not made public until around 1973. Okay. So the mission was to control human behavior of enemies during the Cold War. The experiments involved psychedelic drugs, electroshock therapy, sensory deprivation, hypnosis, and countless other forms of torture. The subjects were exposed to high doses of psychoactive drugs, usually without their knowledge, to see if it would result in them telling secrets. So from my understanding, and I could be wrong, I think that they were testing it so they could use it, so that they could control their own soldiers, and B, so that if they captured the enemy soldiers, they could get them to give up the goods.
Yeah.
Do you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I know what you're saying. And isn't it also kind of like suicide mission type things where it's like...
Well, yeah. Well, you would just have control over someone's mind completely. Yeah. So, yikes. Okay, let me find where I am. Okay, this was mainly done with LSD, but also included ecstasy, mushrooms, meth, heroin, and mescaline.
Oof, what a cocktail.
I was going to say, yikes. Most of the tests were conducted at hospitals or prisons throughout the United States.
Yeah. So that's interesting because, you know, there are many famous people or, you know, that they believe were MKUltra'd.
No.
Yeah. Like Charlie Manson and Mark David Chapman.
Okay. I think I have heard that one before. Interesting. Okay. So this is why there might be, okay. Like a part 2. Okay, it is still unclear how many tests were actually conducted because they destroyed a lot of the records after the program was shut down around 1973. Yeah, let's just get rid of this.
Let's burn this.
The mission also it also involved Operation Midnight Climax. You heard of that?
I've not heard of that.
Okay, I hadn't either. Where basically they would lure unsuspecting men into a room and drug them unknowingly while watching their reactions behind glass. Yeah, this is our own government. Yeah, not surprised, but yeah.
Wow.
It is believed that there are still operations / tests like these still happening today, just under a new name. Another CIA operation was called Project Stargate, and this involved remote viewing training. So the remote viewing is the psychic ability to describe a person / scene at any designated point. So do you see where I'm getting at? Okay.
I do.
You do. They believe that every human being had these powers and through training could tap into it. It's kind of like astral projection if you're not, following me. And there were reports of it working.
Yeah.
Yes.
Interesting.
I know. Okay, so how does this tie into Stranger Things was my point.
Okay. Bring it on home, girl.
Okay, we find out through flashbacks in season 1 that Eleven's mother, Terry Ives, participated in MKUltra experiments where she was tested with LSD and sensory deprivation. However, she was unknowingly pregnant with a daughter named Jane, who was born with telekinetic abilities due to the LSD exposure.
Wow.
Enter 11.
Yeah.
Dr. Brenner kidnapped Jane, named her 11, to use her as a weapon and covered it up. When Terry tried to find Jane, they put her through electroshock therapy until she was totally out of it. And they explore that a little in season 1, but they really go into it in season 2. So if you're into that storyline, I would suggest...
Yeah, checking it out.
Right.
Yeah.
So 11 was practicing remote viewing when she was spying on the Russians and looking for Will and Barb in the sensory deprivation tank. So that was like the Project Stargate I was talking about. Whoa. There have been studies conducted looking at the link between psychedelic drugs and telepathy. Telepathy?
Telepathy. Or tilapia.
That's what I wanted to say was telepathy. I knew it wasn't right. Oh my God. So that's kind of my spiel.
Wow.
Yeah, it's a lot. But
mind blown.
But this led me to something called the Montauk Project.
I've not heard of that.
I hadn't either, and here's where part 2 is going to come in.
Okay.
Because apparently the Montauk Project was a government experiment involving space, time, and other dimensions in the 1980s. and Stranger Things was originally titled Montauk.
Oh, you're kidding.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, wow.
And there are actual like cases of people traveling through time and other dimensions. And
really?
Yeah.
Where does one find that information?
I'm going to have to find it and do a part 2. Yeah.
Wow.
Isn't that interesting?
It's interesting, but I'm telling you, I mean, it is.
It's rather terrifying.
It is very terrifying.
But so what do you think of this, though? Because I think that people can have telepathic abilities. Mm-hmm. So do you think that these were people that just had, like, actually had the abilities? Or do you think that the tests they were doing actually caused them? Do you know what I mean?
Oh, well, I mean, I think everybody has these capabilities. I mean, we use like 1/10 of our brain power, but most people, are not going to tap into that. So I think probably, looking at the 60s and psychedelics and LSD, it was all a part of like opening your mind and like getting outside of yourself to tap into that brain power. So
yeah,
I would say everybody has the ability, but those probably
drew them out. Mm-hmm. Interesting. Mm-hmm. Okay. Yeah, I find it fascinating. I think that the show did a great job of like, because when I first watched it, I honest to God did not really know what MKUltra was. Right. And they like mention it, but they kind of do it in a way that it's not like hitting you over the head. Mm-hmm. Do you know what I mean? Yeah. Like you could think it was just totally made up for the show. Mm-hmm. Like the fact that this is a real thing that happened.
Oh yeah.
I don't know if a lot of people, especially my age, would know that.
Yeah. Well, you used to watch the Manchurian Candidate all the time when you were a kid, but that's because it had Denzel in it, right?
Well, I love me some Denzel.
I know you do love
but
Denzel.
Yes, and it was about that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And the one with what's his name, like the Born Identity and all that.
I was never into those, but
I wasn't either. But I think that's also
like mind control. Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's creepy as.
It's very disturbing.
Yeah, that's a no for me. But Stranger Things is great.
That's a no for me. And I'm out. Yeah.
But Stranger Things, I love it. I think it's a fantastic show. If you like 80s, if you like horror movies, like the score.
Oh yeah.
Is like an 80s music dream.
Oh yeah. It's so good. And just the clothes and the
I know.
I don't know why, but I must have food on the brain today. But like when they go to Barb's parents, her and Steve, and they take that bucket of Kentucky Fried
season
Chicken.
2. Yeah.
Oh, is it?
Yeah. I know.
But it's like, I'll take the KFC, but just like looking at all the old logos,
the old packaging.
And
I know what you mean.
Yeah, it's cool to see all that.
I think it's one of the greatest series that have come out in the last probably 20 years. I think it's so good because we started rewatching it so I could do this, and I was like, God, like it really is so good.
It's really good.
Yeah,
it's interesting because the kids are growing up.
I know when you first go back, you're like, wow, they were so little.
And so you wonder how long they can continue.
Yeah.
I think, didn't we just see or read something where they've already signed to do like
season 5? Yeah.
So we know we got 2 more.
Yeah. I mean, so there's a lot of magic in it. There's a lot of like sci-fi stuff.
But also real.
Obviously. As I enlightened you on. I know, crazy.
You just schooled us on. Great. I won't sleep tonight. That's great.
So that is my spiel.
I love it. That was really good.
Yeah. Wait for part 2 and probably 3. There's a lot to dive into in that show.
And then the characters
I know.
themselves,
Yeesh.
It's so good. All right.
So good.
So good. Am I up to bat?
You're up to bat. Are you ready?
Am I ready? Am I ready? Well, do you know what I'm talking about today?
I'm so sorry. I took a gulp. I believe I do know what you're talking about.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, because this has been one that's been requested and that we said we were going to talk about because what I'm talking about today is Arthur Conan Doyle and Harry Houdini and their interesting friendship.
Their romance.
Their bromance. But I feel like I don't know how many episodes we're in, but I feel like Arthur Conan Doyle keeps popping up. And like, like where's Waldo? Where's Arthur Conan Doyle?
I know.
I just started putting him as ACD in my
nicely
in
done.
my notes. I just know it's Sir Arthur.
A little nickname, no big deal.
Because I feel like he pops up so often in so many of the things that we talk about.
People have asked us to cover him.
Expound on that. So I'm not really going to talk too much about himself, because we kind of already went into that, and he was the guru of spirituality, and he believed in this stuff wholeheartedly. If you don't know, he was a medical doctor, and he also penned Sherlock Holmes.
Yes.
So, but spent an equivalent of by today's standard, millions of dollars for the spiritualist cause. Harkening back to his losses in his life. His son was killed in World War I. And so he was just a huge proponent of spirituality, mediums. We talked about him being at Lilydale.
Yeah.
Just, so that's we've discussed his background, but he had a very interesting relationship with Harry Houdini. And so I wanted to kind of go into that. It's a very interesting. It's one of the strangest and most unlikely friendships ever.
Okay.
So we have the author and the illusionist. So that might seem odd right out of the gate. But it started as a shared interest in the afterlife and spiritualism.
Okay.
So what made for an unlikely bond, like there was 15 years age difference between them, and they came from completely different worlds, but it ended in a bitter rift. The relationship, yeah.
What were their sun signs?
I don't know.
I didn't look that up. I was going to ask.
I don't know.
Jake.
We'll have to look that up. So in 1920, two of the biggest celebrities of the time period met for the first time and developed a friendship based on a mutual admiration. In 1920, Harry Houdini, who we know is a magician, an escape artist, had gone over to England to do some gigs.
Okay.
And he was a big fan of Sherlock Holmes. And Arthur Conan Doyle had came to see him perform, and they, met afterwards and struck up this friendship.
Okay.
So Harry Houdini lived in the U.S.
Yes.
And Arthur Conan Doyle's over in England. So they became quick pen pals. They would send each other books and, write and all that kind of stuff.
Pause, Jake.
Okay, so Harry Houdini is a sun sign in Aries, and Sir Arthur Conan Doyle is a sun in Gemini.
Ooh. Interesting.
Well, see, isn't this information important?
It is very interesting.
Okay.
So, they became fast friends. They ended up that they did have some things in common, which then kept the friendship growing. They were two of the most famous entertainers of the time. They both came from meager backgrounds, both had complicated relationships with their fathers. And as we'll see, they both were, they doted on their moms. So they had very close relationships. They were mama's boys. And both men were very ambitious.
Okay.
So when Houdini's father passed away when he was 18 years old, he actually sold his watch to pay for a professional psychic. So his interest in spiritualism and, the other world, he was pretty young.
Okay.
And in the early days when he and his wife were struggling to make ends meet and he was just playing on vaudeville, he learned the tricks of the spirits and the mediums because they were like the cutting edge magic of the day. They were considered. So he studied and he learned. And so he knew kind of like all the parlor tricks. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So he studied their techniques, and he and Bess actually were not above putting themselves out and doing public seances and, doing the theatrics to put food on the table. Mm-hmm. So once he became famous, he continued to study like spiritualism and the occult and everything. And he had a vast library that he referenced. He was always hoping to find the real deal.
Okay.
But he always came up short. Like, they were always frauds. And because he knew the tricks, he could point them out. So when he met Arthur Conan Doyle in England in 1920, he told Arthur Conan Doyle that he really wanted to believe in this thing that he so readily believed in called spiritualism, but he was constantly, being met with frauds.
Okay.
And so Arthur Conan Doyle told him, I understand. I know there's frauds out there. He said, but he goes, I have like a list of mediums and trusted people. They're the real deal, And so, he
a red flag is being waved.
Red flag number 1. And so while he was in England, Houdini visited 100.
Who
100.
Who has the time for that? 100.
Right? 100. And including all of the ones that Arthur Conan Doyle set him up with.
And they were all frauds.
They were all frauds.
Oh, Harry Houdini, get the stick out of your ass. There's no way.
Yep. And so it made him even further, a non-believer. Because here's Arthur Conan Doyle, the writer of Sherlock Holmes, the rationalist character, and he's a super smart medical doctor.
Right.
And he's telling me that he trusts these people are the real deal. And I very quickly, I'm like, these people are frauds, right?
Right.
So Houdini was a self-made son of a Hungarian immigrant, and he wanted to be more than a vaudeville act. So he longed to act in movies and be in literature. And he even worked for a little-known writer of weird fiction named H.P. Lovecraft.
Whoa.
On a series of spooky short stories.
Spooky short stories?
Spooky short stories.
Okay.
Yeah. And his driving force for finding authenticity in a medium was that he longed to communicate with his mom that had passed away. And we said very close, right? But he knew too much about the trickery and he was not easily convinced. So each time he thwarted out a fraud, he became more and more intent on exposing them because he described these people as leeches preying on people that had lost loved ones.
Right.
And, at a time when and so that just really made him angry. And particularly, there was a Boston medium named Marjorie Crandon who performed scantily clad and apparently emitted ectoplasm from her hoo-ha.
Girl, that ain't ectoplasm. Let's take you to sex education.
And he was very intent on destroying her. And
that would...
But again, and this is one that Arthur Conan Doyle was like...
If you weren't expecting that, you'd probably be like, what the
what the hell was this shit?
I'm going to start calling it that now.
A hoo-ha?
No, ectoplasm.
Slimer.
That was a good one. You caught me off guard with that.
I caught myself off guard. I'm just never Catholic. So then, with all of that, okay, why the next series of events occurred and why Arthur Conan Doyle's wife, Jean, decided this would be a good idea.
Oh, no.
Here we go. Strap yourself in.
Oh, God.
So... Arthur Conan Doyle's wife, Jean, was a self-proclaimed medium.
Oh, okay.
And a purveyor. Her gift was automatic writing.
Okay.
So, do you know what that is?
I do, but
okay.
Tell
So,
me.
automatic writing is the practice of channeling outside forces or spirits and allowing them to put pen to paper through the use of a medium.
Mm-hmm.
So, it's all written down.
Right.
The Doyles also even had their own personal spirit guide, and his name was Phineas. And he regularly predicted catastrophe and also let them know when to move residences and when they could travel. And it seems that the counsel of Phineas appeared to quite often coincide with Jean's agenda. Phineas says we have to move.
Oh my God, what? No offense to anyone named Phineas. It's just funny that...
Oh my gosh. So in 1922, they all decided to go on holiday together.
Why?
The Doyles and the Houdinis.
I feel like they would not jive, but okay.
Right. So while they're all vacationing in Atlantic City.
Why? First of all, why? Anyway, go ahead.
Why? Arthur Conan Doyle informed Houdini that Lady Doyle was sensing that Houdini's mom wanted to communicate.
No, girl. No. Back away.
And he was sensing that he should blah, 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 blah. Cut that out. See, there's
No, but leave it in.
Leave it in there.
It's normally me. So I enjoy it when it's you.
I'm so tired. Bess had warned, Houdini's wife had warned Houdini. He's like, Jean's trying to get to 411 here. She's been like grilling me all day about your mom.
Be a little less obvious, Jean.
God, Jean.
Way to f it up, Jean.
So Houdini says, well, I'm going to do it anyway. Okay. He's like, let's keep this.
Let me be the judge of this.
Keep this on low profile because he really wanted to talk to his mom, right? And
Aww.
These were his friends, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Not for long.
Well, all right. Here's some of the red flags.
Oh, no.
So first of all, at the top of the paper, because we're doing, automatic writing,
Right.
is a huge cross. Right?
Okay.
Except Houdini's mom was the wife of a rabbi.
And you
And I'm out.
read the room, Jean. Read the room.
Obviously, Bess didn't give you that tidbit.
If I was Bess, I'd be like, yeah, she loved crosses.
Right? So, 15 pages of automatic writing, and they're all written in English. But we had talked about Houdini's being Hungarian.
Oh.
So, his mom did not speak English.
Jean.
Oh, gee.
Girl.
And so, and the kicker for Harry Houdini was that Jean did not mention that it was his mom's birthday the day before, and mom would have said something about that. And so he was out.
That's what did it?
That's what did it. All of those things together. But he decided, for the sake of his friends, that he was just going to keep quiet and just kind of like, thank you very much. And, just
Thank you, but
make a big deal about it.
Right.
But Arthur Conan Doyle. So he comes out publicly in the next couple days, and he tells the press that Houdini was so thrilled with Jean's reading.
And Houdini was the Aries.
Yeah.
Oh, no.
That he has converted himself to spiritualism.
Oh, no. Nope.
And that Jean is the real deal. Right? Wow. Now he done pissed Houdini off.
Yeah. Boy, what is you doing?
I know. Hello, Arthur
You couldn't
Conan
just
Doyle.
shut the f*** up.
ACD, you just couldn't be quiet. And so he comes out to refute the statement because he's like, whoa, pump the brakes.
Absolutely not.
Jean, you sucked. I'm even more skeptical than ever. And guess what? I am not converting to spiritualism.
Suck it, Jean.
Suck it, Lady Doyle. And so the relationship barely survived the incident because
Bullshit.
he insulted Jean. Right?
Dude, Jean insulted herself.
Right?
Why'd you take a vacation and have to
Here's where you're
ruin it?
going to see that Aries, because now Houdini's like, I'm pissed.
Now I'm pissed.
And now he amps it. He amps it up and he starts lecturing. And basically whatever Arthur Conan Doyle is coming out and praising and talking about, he's attacking it in the other direction. So whatever Doyle was pontificating about, Houdini was like, no, dog.
That's a no for me.
That's a no. And specifically going after mediums that Doyle supports. So it took a while, but Arthur Conan Doyle felt attacked and the friendship collapsed.
Well, yeah.
Right? So Houdini then, no holds barred.
Aries.
Yeah,
Aries.
now he's
Fire.
like, okay, I got some more for you.
Game on.
Then he comes out and he claims that Arthur Conan Doyle is so gullible and with no more fear of having to offend his former friend, he lets it rip.
Uh-oh.
Specifically citing Arthur Conan Doyle's support of the Cottingley fairies.
Oh. Well, you know what? Valid point there, Harry.
Yeah. He said, those came out of a picture magazine where Arthur Conan Doyle had a story published in the same magazine. The pictures were
boom, roasted. If you don't know what we're talking about, go back. I think it's episode 13 and listen to the Cottingley fairies.
Yeah.
Oh, it's hilarious.
So he even hit Doyle where it hurt by trying to publish a monograph showing how Doyle plagiarized Poe in his Sherlock Holmes stories.
Ooh.
That did not come to fruition, but he
Ouch,
was going for the juggler, man.
The juggler.
Yeah.
Juggler.
Yeah.
Isn't it jugular? Aha. I got you.
You got me, man.
I got you so good.
Or it could be the
She's like, no.
the juggler, man.
I meant the juggler.
The jugular.
Nice try. Nice try.
Oh, whatever. So actually, Arthur Conan Doyle believed that Harry Houdini himself possessed powers.
Okay.
And that he was a physical medium. And this began. So Harry Houdini came out and said, like, this is how gullible this dude is. Now, let me tell you, I tried to show him a trick just in fun one day where I made my thumb disappear. The old thumb trick. And Arthur Conan Doyle was like, that's the greatest thing I've ever seen. He like totally fell for it. And Houdini was like, dude, you say you're a doctor? How do you write the Sherlock Holmes stuff? Okay.
What? Like, what?
I know. So then, and he just kept becoming more and more intent on his mission. He attended seances in costumes with mustaches and fake beards. And as soon as he found the trick, he would stand up and throw off his mustache and beard and be like, I'm Harry Houdini and you are a fraud. And no wonder the mediums in Lilydale locked the door when he came.
And this is Ghost Adventures.
Exactly. He's the big debunker.
Oh my God.
He even testified before Congress in support of a bill outlawing fortune telling.
Okay, now pump the brakes.
A lot of people were saying that, remember I said earlier that he didn't just want to be like in the vaudeville circuit, so he wanted to do films. Well, I guess he tried to do films and it was an epic fail. And so his career was a little bit in the toilet. And this is like, the skirmish with Arthur Conan Doyle was just like fueling him and giving him more of a career boost. Mm-hmm. So he just became, more and more over the top about it.
Right.
But underneath, he really desperately wanted to believe that, that there was truth to the whole thing.
Right.
But he died suddenly on October 31st, 1926, of a ruptured appendix. So do you know the story behind that?
No.
So he used to do this trick where he would say, that nobody could, like you could throw punches at him and you would not hurt him. Okay. And so he would do like something with, where he had to prepare his muscles and stuff. So he was finished a show and he was outside, like talking to fans and stuff. And the one guy said, like a guy came up to him and he said, oh, is it true? And he said, yeah. And before he could prepare, the guy punched him a couple times. He was like an amateur boxer or something.
That's called assault.
And like 3 days later, he was rushed to the hospital and
Yikes.
he died where he had a ruptured appendix.
Well, that's
now,
really sad.
there were like some theories that Arthur Conan Doyle like tried to, like he did that on purpose, but
Ooh,
there's no, I think that's
a bold statement.
I think that's outlandish.
Yeah. Too far.
too far. Yeah. So,
Wow.
yeah. So he died. He was only like 50 in his 50s.
Oh,
Yeah. But October 31st. So
good day.
his
Good day.
wife, Bess, held a seance every year on that day, waiting for him to show up because they had a secret code.
Smart.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah. He said, if there's really proof, I'm going to come back because I've been like doing this for a long time and we've got this secret, that nobody knows. So you're going to know it's me.
Was it ectoplasm?
No.
That's the secret word.
Okay, good. Could be. I don't know. We don't know what it was. So she did that for 10 years and he never showed.
Okay, well, that's kind of sad.
So in 1936, she claimed that 10 years was long enough to wait for any man. And that was the end of the seances for him.
Wow, ouch. Mm-hmm. Burn.
I know. But after his death, Arthur Conan Doyle sent a letter of condolence to Bess stating, I'm sure his desire to make reparations for, attacking the spiritualist community, that he will come back and prove, And as a thank you, she sent him a portfolio of art that was done by Arthur Conan Doyle's father that Houdini found at an auction.
Wow.
And he considered that a peace offering from Houdini. Arthur Conan Doyle died in 1930, never wavering in his belief that Harry Houdini was the greatest physical medium of all time.
Okay, why do I want to cry? Oh,
I know. Sad.
What a bromance.
I know.
It's still a bromance.
Kind of, yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, he only died a couple years after Houdini, 4 years.
Aww.
Yeah.
Wow. Well, I did not know any of that.
No? What'd you think?
That's very interesting.
Right?
I knew that Harry Houdini, because we've been to Lilydale so much, I knew that he would try to disprove a lot. So I knew that, but I didn't know that they were friends. I didn't know any of that.
Yeah. And such an unlikely pairing because he, was trying to debunk and, there's Arthur Conan Doyle out there like, let me give millions of dollars to this,
Where'd your thumb go?
What? You made your thumb disappear?
Oh my God. That's hilarious.
I mean, again, we have to think of the time period. Yeah,
Well,
2 extremes. Yeah.
Yeah.
For sure.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Oh, I liked that though.
Yeah. Interesting.
Very informative.
Oh, thanks. Yeah, they were both good today. I really like that.
Wow, way to go us.
Mm-hmm.
Okay,
Right
okay.
on.
You know what time it is.
What time is it?
It's time for killer quotes of the week.
Woo! All right.
Da-na-na-na, da-na-na-na,
Da-na-na-na, da-na-na-na.
All right, mine is short and sweet this
Is
week.
it?
Yeah. Mine is Friends Don't Lie by 11.
Oh, that's so cute.
Some can't seem to understand that. I'm just kidding.
Oh my gosh.
Take that out. Take that out. Okay.
Oh man. All right. Good one. True though.
You ain't wrong.
You ain't wrong. You ain't lying. All right. So mine is my brain is the key that sets me free. Harry Houdini.
Oh, I like that.
My brain's got me on lockdown right now.
I was going to say, I don't know where mine is today, but I like
It ain't
that.
setting me free.
Oh,
Yeah,
good
that's a
one.
good
Good one.
Yeah.
All right. Well, that's another one in the books.
Another one in the books, guys.
All right. We will talk to you next week.
Yes. TTFN.
Cut, print, check the gate. Moving on.